For me, at a younger age, I was never even keel. We would win a playoff game when I was younger. I was excited out of my mind, and then you would lose, and I was the worst person in the world. But I think at this point in my career, I kind of stay even. One game shouldn't affect the next game. You know, you go out and play as hard as you can, live with the results.
We knew that the Cleveland Cavaliers would have to improve their play if they wanted to compete with the Golden State Warriors in game number 2, and honestly they did. They got good games out of LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love. They improved their field goal percentage from game to game. They went inside the paint and attacked, and they also went toe for toe on the boards. And yet, it did not matter. The Golden State Warriors were still able to prevail over the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 2 of the NBA Finals, 132-113. The Warriors take a 2-0 lead heading into Game 3, which will be in Cleveland. And the Warriors, once again, were just playing out of their minds. Kevin Durant did it again, had 33 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists, and then he also stuffed the stat sheet with 3 steals and 5 blocks, and he's just been amazing. This is the moment he's been waiting for since he was an Oklahoma City Thunder player that got bounced in the NBA Finals by LeBron James and the Miami Heat back when. And Stephen Curry has also showed up again, at least on the stat sheet. We saw him struggling from outside early on in the game. He went 1 for 6 from 3 in the first half, but in the end, he turned things around in the second half and ended up with 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. So a great game out of him. The way that he was able to compensate his shooting struggles was he was fantastic from the line, going 14 of 14 from the charity stripe. And then Klay Thompson, who had his best game of these playoffs after struggling pretty much the entire postseason. He has a good game in game 1, and then he does even better in game number 2, going 8 for 12 from the field with 22 points and 7 rebounds. So it's good to see him improving and showing up at the right time. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, they beat the Warriors in the paint 60-40, and they actually won the turnover battle. They only turned the ball over 9 times in game number 2, while the Warriors turned it over 20 times. LeBron finished with a triple-double of his own, 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 14 assists on an efficient 12 for 18 field goal shooting stat line. Kevin Love also showed up again, not 21 boards, but 27 points in game 2, along with 7 rebounds, going 12 for 23 from the field, but struggling from outside this time. You know, he had trouble in game 1 from inside, but this time it was outside, as he only went 2 for 7 from beyond the arc. And then Kyrie struggled in the first half, but managed to turn it around and put up some good contributions. He finished with 19 points and 7 assists. But speaking of contributions, the rest of the Cavaliers were just not there. Now, Tristan Thompson did go 4 of 7 from inside, but he only came out with 4 rebounds. A guy that's known for hustling and rebounding, and he's still getting outclassed out there on the boards. This has been a nightmare series for J.R. Smith. He was 0 for 2 today, and they're thinking of replacing him in game 3 in the starting lineup with Iman Shumpert, who went 1 for 6 but still showed a lot of heart, so much so that he apparently needed an IV after cramping up so much because he was playing so hard. Channing Frye came in to make his first appearance at the NBA Finals, but he only went 1 for 5. You thought that a 6'11" outside shooter would be able to space the floor, but he was still a defensive liability. Darren Williams still just can't find the bottom of the hoop here in the finals. He went 0 for 5 on Sunday night. So just not a lot coming from outside of the big 3 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was a high-scoring game throughout. It was close through about the first 3 quarters before the Warriors pulled away, but still the Warriors were on fire from the field. They shot 51.7% from the field, 41.9% from beyond the arc, and only missed 2 of their 24 free throw attempts. They scored 40 in the first quarter. They gave up 34 for the Cavaliers, but they still put up 40 in the first quarter, and the game ran away in the Warriors' favor when they outscored the Cavs 35-24 in the third quarter. So maybe a change of scenery will do something for the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're not collectively wanting to believe that the Cavs can get swept by such a fantastic team like the Warriors. So we'll see if there are any strategic changes the Cavs can make to steal at least one in Cleveland, or maybe even turn this series around. But for now, the Warriors are leading big in this NBA Finals series 2-0. The next game is on Wednesday night. I'm Raymond Sims. Have a good one.